Like a touch screen.
All right, keep your fingers crossed. This is going to work. We can be off the record for this, but this is my name is Michael Newmark. I'm the administrative law judge for the PSC. Welcome to the Vista Sands Solar Project public hearing session. It's our second one today. So I'm with the Public Service Commission. So the commission is who will review the project, the application for the project, and the commission is empowered to approve, modify, or deny the application. And it does so by reviewing the record in the case. Three commissioners that run our agency will review the record and then vote in open meeting on all the issues that it needs to evaluate for a project. And once it's made its decision, a written order is issued and it's posted on the commission's website and emailed to the parties in the case. So that's kind of the ultimate goal. What we're doing here today is we're collecting public comments. So it's one part of our hearing process. The second part will be tomorrow, where we take evidence from the parties in the case, so the applicant and the interveners, as well as commission staff will participate in that presentation. That'll be on Zoom. This one's of course here and on Zoom. So we have people, we'll be taking comments from the public, both in person and on the internet. So all of those comments go into the record, and the record is, like I mentioned, what the commissioners use to evaluate the project. So right now we have over 900 comments in writing. Comments are due tomorrow at midnight. And so the written comments are due tomorrow by midnight. Right now is the last chance to give a live comment. And the live comments basically become written comments because we're transcribing what you say, goes into a written volume, and that's what the commissioners will read. So we are live streaming on YouTube, and there'll be a recording of that hearing on our YouTube channel, kind of like the unofficial recording, but that's something you can go back to and review if you'd like. That's pretty much how the process works. The ground rules for today, it's pretty simple. If you do wish to speak, you just need to fill out an appearance slip. You probably met our folks from commission staff when you came in, and they have these forms. Just fill it out the top and then check speak now if you want to speak. Other options to comment, you can do so in writing right here. Just fill out the back of the comment and hand it back to us, and we'll scan that and it'll become a written comment. Or you can go online and do it yourself. There's the link spelled out here, and then a QR code. You can do it on your phone if you can do that, which I would never even try it because couldn't even see that. But anyway, it's just a quick way to get to the link anyway. So the other things to know is I'll call out the names one at a time. Just have you come in here and take a seat. I'll swear you in, get your name, and we just want to hear your opinion on the case. You know, the parties are filing the technical documents, and you know, could be expert witnesses, but this is an opportunity for the public residents, people who are impacted, to give us your view, and that's why we're out here, because we want to hear it. So another ground rule is just, you know, we have different opinions here. Everyone's very passionate about this, which is great, and doesn't happen often that people are passionate about utility regulation. So we really are excited about that. So but we do ask that we create a space where everyone feels comfortable to give their opinion, and there are people on both sides of the issue or all the many sides of the issue. So please, no applause or boos, or we want everyone to feel welcome here. So we'll just make sure we watch ourselves there. So I think we're ready to go. We have a couple people online, and I did want to take, someone was online before we took a break. And I kind of want to get them in now because they've been waiting since 5:30 or so. And so let's take them first, and then we'll move to some of the people who are here in the room. So let's begin. I think it was Ryan Rossier. Can you hear me? I'm going to unmute you. Are you there?
Oh, yes, we are here.
Okay, great. So thanks for waiting, and I'm gonna, I'll just need to get your video on.
Oh, video on, okay.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I don't see it yet.
Trying to get my video on.
Okay, there you go. I got your picture there.
Okay, so actually I'm Althea Rossier. Ryan is with me as well.
Okay, that's fine. Let me just get you settled in here. I'm gonna get a couple of things I have to do to get you started. So first of all, where are you here? Okay, so I'm just gonna need to get your name.
My first name is Althea.
Okay, great. Althea Ross here. And your comment there. Okay, I'm just need to make sure we have your name spelled right for when we do the transcript. So I'm just gonna do that. All right, great. Okay, so I'm gonna swear you in and then have you give your comment. So raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. You can hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great, great. All right, so just give us your name for the record and begin your comment, please.
My name is Althea Rossier. And my comment is related to decommissioning the project at the end of the useful life of the solar panels. My concern is that assurances are made that the company has funds available in place if the company goes out of business or becomes insoluble, that those funds are available regardless of the status of the SolarWinds LLC at the end of the useful life of those solar panels. And that's basically my comment.
Okay, yes, thanks. Well, we've got that, and thank you for making it. All right, that's it. So take care. And we'll move on to some people in the room. So let's begin. Okay. All right, so pick our list here. So I just do apologize. I am kind of playing double duty here. So I'm paying attention to you guys, but sometimes I have to address the stuff that pops up on the Zoom channel. We have looks like Sean Schwab. Sharon, okay. This is not all on me this time. So if you haven't heard before, I butcher names all the time, so I do apologize. I do the best I can. So but feel free to correct me politely. All right.
Can I be heard on this?
There's an issue here.
Swap is a
Yeah,
technical.
yeah, on the
You
record.
can't do that as an individual?
So I don't. Okay, hang on. So I'm not. I can take care of this. Let me just take a look on the appearance. So if I look at. Oh, okay, now I remember. So you are. Schwab, okay, yes, okay, so Ms. Schwab. So we can get on the record. So I have indication on my records that you are the witness for Wisconsin Wildlife Federation. Is that
I'm one
right?
of the witnesses for them for Dane County Conservation League.
Yes, so that is your way to participate in this case, as filing testimony and participating along with a party is your opportunity to participate. So I can't have you give public testimony. It's
Got it.
one or the other. Yeah, so,
Okay.
but you made your statement, and it'll be presented to the commission.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
can I provide these for the commission? These are just brochures on.
well, I can take them and
Okay.
review them.
Okay.
So thanks.
Okay,
Thanks for
well,
being here.
good to know. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And I apologize that you weren't told about the process from your counsel from WWF. They should have informed you about our regulations. So,
Okay, I mentioned that, but I was just doing it as me, the individual. I didn't know I couldn't do that.
right, okay,
Okay.
thanks. All right, so let's move on to Peggy Farrell. Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, give us your name and comment, please.
My name is Peggy Farrell. I'm an outreach education coordinator at UWSP and the College of Natural Resources. And part of my job is to take people out to see the prairie chickens during the month of April. Some of you may have done that with me. So the public has an opportunity to reserve a blind and sit out on the Buena Vista and watch the birds when they're in their season of doing their dancing and jumping and fighting and booming and breeding. So I've been doing that for over 25 years now. And it's just really amazing to have the opportunity to see how this brightens up people's days. So we meet out on the Buena Vista an hour and a half before sunrise. I walk them out to the blind, which is a plywood box essentially. So stick them in a plywood box in the dark and then say, see you later. And I scoot out of there. And then like mid-morning or later on in the day, I get emails and text messages and sometimes phone calls from people saying, oh my gosh, this is amazing. What a wonderful experience. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And so why is that important? What does that matter? Well, these are people who come from all over the Midwest, sometimes outside of the Midwest. They're renting hotels, they're going to our restaurants, they're biking and hiking the Green Circle Trail, they're going out to see other wildlife areas around here, and then they go home and they tell their friends and their family and I don't know, their chiropractor and their manicurist and everybody who they can, what an amazing thing it was to see the prairie chickens. What a beautiful place we have in central Wisconsin. How nice the people are. What a great thing that this is. So the chickens are important. The people are important. We're not talking thousands of people each year or millions of dollars in tourism, but it's still important. And yes, renewable energy is important, but I think not when it comes as a threat to an already threatened species or as something that could harm other wildlife species in the area. So that's what I wanted to come and say here today. It's the story more than a comment, but I think it's an important story that needs to be told.
All right, well, thanks for doing it. Okay, William Kopecki Jr. Kepke, sorry.
I was wondering how you were gonna.
Yeah, you could have helped me out. I saw you before. Set me up.
Yeah, I could have warned you. I didn't.
Swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do. I really want to give you a high five.
All right, give us your name and comment, please.
My name is William Kepke Jr. Did they warn you? I'm giving 2 comments. One for a group, one for myself.
No, they didn't, but which group?
The Prairie Chicken Project, we're super small grassroots.
Okay.
A mixture, so I'll start with that.
Yeah,
one, if
go
that's
ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
The Prairie Chicken Project is a small grassroots organization of landowners, bird dog trainers, and just general Wisconsin bird outdoor habitat enthusiasts. And we are recently formed because of a lot of this energy that's growing, and really cool to see about Wisconsin grasslands and Wisconsin grassland birds like the prairie chicken. And so we're trying to raise money, trying to raise awareness so we can help habitat projects on both private and public land in central Wisconsin. And I'm here on behalf of them, signing off on the 4 amendments that were proposed from the North American Grouse Partnership. Do I need to relist those?
Why don't you do that in the context of your comment? Yeah.
All right. So those 4 amendments, removing 10 primary array areas, 17, 20, 21, 23, 37, 38, 43, 44, 50, and 51. And the 4 alternative array areas, 20, 32, 41, and 53. All of which are immediately adjacent to the Buena Vista Wildlife Area. Amendment 2, establishing a half-mile buffer zone between solar arrays and the Buena Vista Wildlife Area, and a 1-mile buffer zone between solar arrays and prairie chicken leks. Amendment 3, requiring that all fencing around the project be raised a minimum of 8 inches off the ground to allow for movement of prairie chicken hens, chicks, and other ground nesting birds. Check really fast. Amendment 4, requiring that bird diverters be placed on any overhead transmission lines within 1 mile of greater prairie chicken leks. So we, as the Wisconsin Prairie Chicken Project, support those 4 amendments to the project. How long do I pause?
Go ahead.
All right, perfect. William Kepke Jr., giving my comment as a lifelong citizen of Wisconsin. I'm from a long line of, should get my notes out. I wasn't gonna write notes, and then I saw the well-edited and shiny forehead speeches from some other people. So here we are with notes. Anyways, longtime resident of Wisconsin, born and raised here, northern Wisconsin, moved to central Wisconsin for school, fell in love with the area, fell in love with one of our last remaining stretches of grassland, and obviously the greater prairie chicken. Got a tattoo here if anybody needs to see it. But the bird, the area, the space, the people, they're amazing. Like I said, born and raised here from a long line of loggers, homesteaders, mill workers, people that have worked on, with, and in the land. My grandma raised 6 kids. She owned her own land on the outskirts of town, and she was a single parent. So I'm fully aware of the hard work it requires to live off the land. I know we've heard from a few landowners in the area, and they've expressed their concerns and their primary concerns of comfort and making an income from the project, which I completely understand. I'm also a small business owner in the area, and a big part of what I do in the fitness, mental health, and sports medicine world is get people outside. I volunteer with programs like Becoming an Outdoorswoman. I take people out every month for a nature ecology wander, because I know the value of our outdoor spaces, and I know that not a lot of us take that time or get out there on our own. So I'm constantly pushing that idea, and it also comes back and feeds my business, right? That's how I make a living, is helping people love movement, love their body, love the outdoors. I also have this idea that my grandma and Fran Hammerstrom would have been pretty cool friends had they known each other. But anyways, so that goes from kind of my background, why I care so much. As from the landowner side of things, the business side of things, I think we all know we're here. A big part of this is money, right? We've been promised a huge amount of money to this area, which is great. And I hope even a small fraction of it is true, because I've come from a small town where we had a dam, so renewable energy there, water, right? And I was alive and old enough to remember when that dam was taken out and people lost their businesses, they lost their jobs, they lost their livelihoods. Not to mention the increased disease and sickness once the river was drained. and people, dogs, livestock were exposed to blasto. So where I go with that story is we push renewable energy, and it's great. I love it. We need it, right? Climate change is real. But without putting our own brakes on ourselves, without limiting ourselves in certain ways, I feel like we're only going to be running into similar things we ran into back home 10, 15, 20 years from now, because we're so fast to do this project for all of the reasons listed. And there's been lots of numbers thrown around by people way smarter than myself. But just from living here and loving this place and the people that live here, and the animals like the greater prairie chicken, I really hope we can slow ourselves down a little and take those 4 amendments into consideration. So even as a single person, as a resident of Wisconsin, I really hope we can take pause before taking on these elaborate projects. But yeah, that's what I have.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So Joseph, this is another one I can't pronounce. Joseph looks like Facundo. Yeah, did I get it?
Yes.
All right, good, thanks.
Hi.
Have a seat. I'll swear you in. You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
All right, give us your name and comment.
Hi, I'm Joseph Facundo. And my concern is, I oppose this. My concern is because of the fishing, the recreation, the wildlife, some possible archaeological sites. And I could know some backstory, I guess. But I live here in Stevens Point. I live actually in the area. I live like 1 mile south of some of the proposed sites that they want to put the arrays at. And I've lived there since 2014. So when I first moved there, I seen some wildlife, but now I've seen a lot more wildlife. Everybody's talking about the prairie chickens and stuff, but there's a lot of other wildlife there too. I've seen golden eagles. I've seen them establish themselves there. Now I see about 3 different ones. I've seen many bald eagles. I see martins, minks, skunks, raccoons, possums, everything, so much wildlife. That's one of my concerns is snowy eagles as well. I mean, snowy owls as well, cranes, herons, and some of our flowers, lady slipper orchids, some
Sorry, what kind of orchids?
lady slipper orchids and other plants as well that I see, when I'm walking. I use the area for recreation, fishing, hunting, walking my dogs, taking my 4-wheelers onto dirt roads. So I know the area very well. I grew up here in Stevens Point. I went to UWSP as well. I actually didn't know about some of the archaeological sites that have been found there until I was reading through the proposal. And I'm just almost afraid about that. If there's more archaeological sites and more to be found, because those were all found back in the 70s. So I don't know if there's been any new updates or if there's been any other, any other searches or anything for those sites. Then I was also reading about the batteries leach and get into the waterway, that would cause problems. So that's also one of my concerns. And then I didn't find anything on, because of the arrays covering such a vast area, will that make the temperature higher in that area? And wherever those, those big screens are at and stuff. Would that raise the temperature and make the animals have a harder time living or surviving or thriving? And also, it would affect their migration. It's just everything, it would affect everything with animals. And so, I do support renewable energy. I think it is important, but at what cost? Are we going to destroy, nature, wildlife, the waterways, and unalterably change the environment just so that we can have that? Because we're doing the opposite of what we intend to do. And other alternatives I would like to see is maybe do it in the city, in parking lots that are unused, buildings that are unused, properties that are unused, instead of doing it out, because we have a lot of people that do come out there and use the areas as well, so. And that's it.
All right, thanks for your comment.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll do one more person in the room and then we'll switch over to Zoom for a few. So we have Heather Phelps.
Yes.
All right. Swear you in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, name and comment, please.
All right. My name is Heather Phelps, and I'm from Stevens Point. And I would like to speak in favor of the Vista Sand Solar Project. And I know there are a lot of people concerned about the habitat of the prairie chicken, as people have been saying tonight. But my understanding is that the biggest threat to birds and indeed to all of our Wisconsin flora and fauna is climate change. And climate change that is caused in a large part due to the burning of fossil fuels to produce energy. So if we are going to transition away from fossil fuels, as the US has been called upon to do in the UAE consensus, which it signed last fall at COP28, we need renewable energy. And unfortunately, renewable energy requires a certain amount of land. Not anywhere near all of our farmland here in Wisconsin. Not even a significant fraction of the farmland that's currently being used to produce ethanol, but more than we can get just by putting solar on rooftops. And unlike so many other possible land uses that we do every day, solar farms provide the opportunity for native ground cover that can provide animal habitat while also giving the soil and groundwater a chance to recover from agricultural uses. Every possible large-scale solar project will be in the vicinity of some important piece of land that people care really deeply about. But someone needs to be willing to say, yes, in our backyard, and do it with the urgency climate change requires of us. So, I really believe that we need the renewable energy provided by this project, particularly a project that also includes battery storage, so we can get the energy at the times we need it. And so as a resident of Stevens Point, I would be really proud to have this solar project in my county. It'll provide locally produced, clean and renewable energy that's going to protect me and everyone I know, and yes, also the plants and animals of Wisconsin from the risks and dangers of climate change. So that's why I support this project, and I hope that it will be approved. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. All right, let's move on to some Zoom participants. So we had Autumn Timbermans, you connected before. I don't know if there's someone else using that username now that wanted to comment, or is it the same person we had before?
It's still just me. I was just
Okay.
watching. Otherwise, I did have a couple things to say if you didn't mind.
No, actually, we're gonna take new people now, but thanks.
That's all good.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, thanks. Okay, so we have Ryan Modruski. I'm gonna unmute you. Did you want to comment? I'm asking to unmute. I don't know what's going on here. Well, if you do want to comment, unmute now. Otherwise, at the end, I'll give you a second chance. Okay. How about Daniel H? I'll ask to unmute. There you go. Okay,
Yes.
Daniel, can you hear me?
Yes. Let me just
Okay.
quickly
So let me interrupt, sorry. We have to set you up a little bit here. Can you turn your, okay, so you got your video on. Let me adjust the screen here. I don't know what. Okay, well. We're just gonna go with it. All right, something's not working, but it is working underneath somewhere. All right, so Daniel H, we're gonna need your full name, please. Oh, there we go.
Daniel Halfstead, HAF as in Frank, S as in Sam, TAD.
One more time, sorry. HAF,
S as in Sam,
okay.
TAD.
B? B as in D.
D as in dog.
There we go. I don't know why you're not coming through. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn our volume down a little. That might help. Okay. And great. So I'm gonna swear you in and have you give us your comments. So raise your right hand. There you go. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, great. So I think we got your name. So go ahead and comment for us.
My question, or my comment is really a question of, I think we've seen a lot of ecological controversies surrounding wolves in Wisconsin of hunting seasons being permitted, hunting seasons not being permitted, courts being involved. And I guess my question is what if the courts are involved and the solar panels, after they have been approved, after they have been installed, are deemed as detrimental to the prairie chicken population? What if there is a decline that is then correlated to the solar panels? These aren't necessarily an infrastructure that just gets turned off and we're now fine. The corporation responsible for these panels can probably file for bankruptcy and wash their hands of it. And now we have landowners that are kind of stuck with the 7,000 acres of solar panels that is still detrimental to the prairie chicken population and any other wildlife that may or may not be involved. And in regard to land usage in general, if renewable energy is important, have other options for Wisconsin been considered for renewable energy? In particular, this may be a controversial statement, but nuclear is a highly more efficient option. I guess that concludes my comments in the regard of just what other options for renewable energy have been considered and what happens if this does end up being detrimental to the local wildlife.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thanks for raising that for us. I appreciate your comment.
Thank you.
So someone's logged in on Zoom with the name Kendra. So if you can hear me, can you unmute? Tell me if you'd like to comment.
I'm not interested in commenting, just listening. Thank you.
All right. No worries. Thanks. Kyle, would you like to comment?
Also just a participant today.
Okay. Listening in. Okay. Tammy H, how about you? Oh,
Yeah,
can you hear
I'll
me?
comment. I'm turning my camera on. Give me a second.
Okay, great. Thanks.
I had it
And
off.
we'll do the drill with you too. Hang on. Let me just get you set up here. So can you spell your last name for us?
Hintz, Hintz.
Yeah, push the wrong button. I didn't disconnect you though, which is good. Not, actually, I don't think I've ever disconnected anyone completely. Even this a long time, it's bound to happen. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're all set, and I'll just need to swear you in and give us your name for the record. So raise your right hand. You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, so name for the record and your comment, please.
Tammy Hintz. I am here as a landowner directly affected by this proposed project. We'll call it that. Both sides of my property are going to be affected. I have we're on a corner, front side. That is trying to find a good way to put it. My livelihood, our hunting, our recreation for us, our grandchildren, and we thought future generations. That was where our retirement home was going to be. So I don't know about the rest of you, but the last thing I want to do is stare at a bunch of solar panels. We worked hard to get this land. I want to know what's going to happen to us, the small people who don't have these big farms that do what we can do to get our land. What are they going to do to compensate us in 20, 30 years, whatever it is? What's going to happen to these panels? And like somebody else had brought up, if they go bankrupt, these panels are now going to be sitting there for how long and what's going to happen to them? We're big hunters, we're big fishermen. We don't want to see this affecting that area. I understand the prairie chickens are super important. We are seriously just over a mile from that land. I grew up in that land. And so the fact that that's being threatened, yeah, not happy. So definitely not here to commend it.
I understand. Thanks very much for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So at this point, I've polled all the Zoom people. Don't let me forget, I'll ask one more time before we adjourn. The people who didn't connect, didn't unmute, get a chance to comment again. But let's continue on with the people in the room here. So we have Christopher Okram. Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
Hi.
Come on up, have a seat.
How are you today, Michael?
Never better.
You look like you are never better.
All right. Raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, name for the record and comment, please.
Christopher Okray, O-K-R-A-Y. Hello. So I was also born and raised here. This is my hometown. Plover, Stevens Point. I was born at the hospital in Stevens Point. I was there too many times, in fact. And my family came here and started buying some cow hides and deer hides and fox hides. And then they started buying other things like potatoes. They started shipping these things. And they built a business out of farming, out of doing a lot of good for the community. And when I look at this, you know, with Vista Sands, we're helping to harness the power of the sun. They're trying to give us the energy that we need to live with. I don't know about you, but I like my refrigerator I like my hot water. I especially like being able to turn on the lights at night. You know, I think the biggest thing is, has anybody ever tried to do organic farming? I remember a friend of mine tried it one time. You have to let the land lay fallow 3 years. Can't do anything with it. That's to help the land. To let the land lay fallow for 30 years really helps the land. It also, I was listening on WPR today. They were talking about dead zones from farming in the ocean. We have some big problems out here, some worldwide problems. But we know that we need some clean energy if we want to live. Do I want it in my backyard? I feel sorry to have it in my backyard. Do I want it on my roof? Maybe that's what the answer would have been. Put it on everybody's roofs. Put up wind turbines or nuclear, like the gentleman had last time. I'm a little worried about nukes. I don't know about you folks, but nukes don't sound very good. Although I understand that in some ways it's very good stuff. I worry about birds too. Those prairie chickens, I've seen them out on the fields. We're still going to farm. Those fields are still going to be there. And I think that's what you need for prairie chickens, if I'm not mistaken. You need land that's worked up and has crops on it for prairie chickens. And I think that's why they're suggesting the barrier. I'm not sure, because that's just what I was told, is that those prairie chickens are trespassing on our property, and or as the Indians would say, we're trespassing on their property. But overall, we need this. We need energy. And we need to let the land lay fallow for 30 years. This is one way to get the taxes paid. And I understand, people like the last caller that said, how is this going to affect my land? I don't want to look at solar panels. Well, in some ways, it'll probably make it a lot better. The town of Grant out there is going to benefit greatly. They should be able to do some nice work on the roads out there with the funds that they should be maybe socking away. The whole thing just seems like it's so necessary. It will power up to 200,000 homes, probably mine included. That's an incredible amount of lights, of cars that run on batteries now, of all of these different things that we want to have in our lives. Now, if we didn't want that, yeah, I know there's people that don't want that. There are people that want to live in the woods. I still remember, our family still has a cottage. It's up in the North Woods. It's got water. You better bring some water to prime that pump. It's got a bathroom. We have to move the building every couple of years. It gets filled up, you know, that hole in the ground. It's got a light bulb. Actually, I think there's 3 of them. They're gas. We have to bring in LP gas. There's ways to live without electricity. But I prefer to live with some. And I think this project is very necessary just for all of us. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, next we have Brandon Smith. And that's our last slip for now, so we'll still keep anyone else wish to participate, get your slips in now. Okay.
Sorry about that.
You're
Rough
fine.
with the phone slammed.
It's all good.
Nice.
Let me swear you in. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, give us your name and comment, please.
My name is Brandon Smith. I was born at St. Michael's Hospital too, if it matters. I've lived in Portage County my whole life. I grew up in Bancroft, 5 minutes away from the Prairie Chickens. I still live in Portage County. I'm a local. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm here because of the Prairie Chickens. That's it. I mean, it's not it, but that's what we got time for. Okay. I spent a lot of time running dogs on Prairie Chickens, interacting with them. We're not hurting them. We see a lot of them. We're paying attention to where they are. We're being careful during the times of the year that we need to not push them around when it's hard, you know, not getting in coveys that are real small, giving them some space, all that stuff. And I probably spend about as much time as anybody out there, except for a few people in this crowd. I'm never going to be able to beat them. They're out there every day. So in my time that I spend out there, I obviously observe prairie chickens. That's why I'm there. And I'm seeing stuff that's important. And what's important is, I wish you guys could see this map. First off, on the map of the proposal, you see green on the map, and that's the public land. That's not all the public land. That's just the state land. What they don't have on there is the Dane County conservation stuff, and it's a small amount on the map, but it's an important part of this puzzle. So we're not showing the whole picture. Some of the stuff that's on there that are going to be solar panels is directly adjacent to prairie chicken land. And also, now what I was talking about with the stuff that I see out there, right? So I spend more time out there than any time of the year during the hard times. So let's say middle of January, if the weather's good, all the way to April 14th. That's the hardest time of the year for any animal that lives here year round. And what I observe is the birds aren't confined to the spots on that map that are green. Those birds are all over the place. And they spend a lot of time in the row crop stuff. That's where their food is. The grass is the cover. The grass is the shelter. The grass gets them out of the cold, and it gives them a place to relax, but they don't eat there in the wintertime. They're in numerous fields. And again, I wish I had this map because I could show you all the fields that I see birds going to and from, not in the grasslands. There's up and down Monroe and Town Line there. There's Oakray, there's Wolochek, I think. I see them in those fields all the time. Back up in between Town Line and Taft, just south of Birch, there's a big chunk of chicken ground up there. There's one of them at Plover Farms. The other one is another one that's Oakray. Those are both either going to be part of the project or an alternate, those are both critical places that the prairie chickens need those row crops just to make it through the winter. Also, there's some stuff that the biologists and the people that are way smarter than me know about, and that's the areas that are designated as leks out there. And we know where they are on the public land. But there are more leks on private land as well. And one of them is Hambach on Town Line, just south of the lake. They have a quarter section there. Every year there's prairie chickens on a lek. And another spot is just north of lake. I can't remember who owns that. On the corner of Taft and Lake, they lek in that too. And just south of that, I can't remember if that's Blue Top Farms, but it's just south of the grasslands there. They also lek there too. These are all private fields, which some of them, the last one that I just brought up, is proposed to potentially have solar panels on it. That's not okay. None of this is all right. So I guess what I'm getting at here is if these projects, now actually I should go back. As a property owner, I have a hard time being able to like say this person can do this or can't do this on their own property. Man, I don't want anybody telling me what I should do on my own property. As long as it doesn't affect my neighbors, it doesn't hurt or harm my neighbors, I think you should be able to do whatever the hell you want on your property. I'm sorry I swore. But in this case, I'm a local. I've spent my whole life here. That's my backyard. And I care about those birds. And I think that in the areas closest to those grasslands, putting solar panels up adjacent to them or taking those sources of food from the hard times away from them is going to hurt it. So that's where I'm stepping in. That's why I'm here. And so we got these projects, and I understand the intent, and I'm not here to be entirely against this stuff because it's none of my business. Keep it west, and I don't care. But I believe that you need to give that grassland some space. Not just for the prairie chickens, for everything that's out there. It needs a little bit of breathing room. And if we're gonna label this stuff, if we're gonna call this stuff eco-friendly, and there is a real possibility that installing them and having them so close to this ecosystem will harm it. You don't have to be a biologist. You don't even have to be that smart to understand that that's not eco-friendly. That's going to hurt the environment. So that is no different than what these people are fighting for fossil fuels, because we think we're hurting the environment. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't, but this is going to. So what I'm here to say, what I would like to see is the 4 amendments that Bill brought up. I would like to see that those 4 amendments are passed with no compromises whatsoever. That's the way it's going to be. And I think that if the people who are in charge, the people making the decisions on this stuff, don't fully agree with those amendments, then you're seeing the true colors of what this stuff is. They don't care about the environment. If it hurts the environment, it's not eco-friendly. And what's the reason for it then? They're making money. And they've got you believing that it's 100% entirely fine for the environment. As far as I'm concerned, if there was just a sliver of doubt that something like this, that's supposed to be eco-friendly, is going to hurt an ecosystem, then we wouldn't even be here right now talking about this. It would just be, yeah, we can't do this right here, but here we are. That should be an indication right there. But here I am. So I think that's all I have to say. Okay. Sorry for yelling and sorry for almost swearing. Thank you for getting my name right.
Excellent. Almost doesn't count, so you're good. All right, that's great. So we have all of our comments, all the appearance slips we've gone through. Anyone else wish to speak?
I'm from California. No one wants to hear my opinion.
So anyone else on Zoom?
Do you have to fill out a slip in order to get up there and speak, or?
Hey, let's go off the record. So I don't know if you want to speak unless I get a slip.
You can't, I can't.
I don't know if you want to speak unless I get your slip, because it said, that's how I know you want to speak. So I can ask now. Yeah, because we're almost done, so this is your last chance.
Okay.
So you can, yeah, okay. So you can just bring the slip up here. We can deal with it later. They're discussing whether they want to. Sophia, you can just bring it up here. She can fill it out later. Yeah. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Yeah, I do. All right, well, it's a formality. We'll deal with it later, but we'll just get your name now. Okay, so we're all set. So I'm gonna swear you in first. So raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
So state your name and spell it for us.
My name is Deb Heck, Heck.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
We are going to be looking at solar panels wherever we go. We drive out our driveway and for as far as we can see.
I'm sorry, you're going to look at,
That's
I
what
just
we'll
couldn't
see.
hear it.
As far
Okay.
as we can see, we're gonna see solar panels. Prairie chickens are important, but we have deer in our yard every day. We have turkeys. I can go on and on and on about the wildlife that surrounds us. My grandchildren spend a lot of time in our house. We ride our bikes. We don't like it. We realize that renewable energy is important. Someone mentioned nuclear. It's scary, but I think if I understand correctly, if these solar panels do function correctly, if they do their job, at the end of their cycle, they're going to be buried. Is that something we want to see happening? How many solar panels are there? They're going to be underground. I understand there's a lot of people who will benefit from this. I just think that we really have to consider what would happen if this company does go bankrupt. What's going to happen at the end of the life of these solar panels? Where are the solar panels coming from? I'm just not sure we're looking at the big picture. We have a beautiful area out there. Everyone is going to claim that they do. Maybe it's better off, like someone else mentioned, in a city where there's concrete everywhere. I don't know. What if the batteries leach into the ground? Is that ground going to be worth anything at the end of this? There's just too many ifs. We are totally against it for all those reasons.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome. And I'll fill this.
Yeah. Please.
Once I get my
Great.
glasses.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
All right, anyone else wish to speak? All right. Oh, yes. No, okay. just eager. All right, so we have all the comments from in-house and in Zoom. I want to thank everyone for participating today. We got a lot of great information. I think it'll assist the commissioners in making their decision. And oh yeah, go ahead. Last minute comment. All right, come on up.
Didn't want to do this.
Okay.
My name's Lee Lampert.
All right, let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm? Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Totally against it. I live out in the Kellner area. Prairie chicken land borders our property. See wildlife all over. The people that are in favor of this, I feel, are the ones that are getting their pockets stuffed. Okay? There's a lot of big farms around us, bigger fields. I understand they're getting closer to retirement. They may not have families that they're going to pass it on to. So an easy way to make the living, turn it over to Vista Sands. Where is Vista Sands? Mother company, I've been told, is Israel. How much of that stays in the US? How much of that power is coming back to Kellner? How's it going to help Kellner area? They talk about the grasslands. I've seen pictures of these places. The panels take up a lot of space, a lot of sunlight. The grasses, they don't want it very tall. They go and kill it to keep it low so the panels are getting no distraction. Batteries are lithium ion, I think, something like that. Where's all that coming from? A lot from China, right? I mean, I'm not sure. I'm asking questions. I hope you do the research and figure out all this before it gets jumped into. Does it have to happen tomorrow or next year? Like somebody else said, let's take some time and research, see how much effect this is really going to have on the area. There are a lot of people that have worked like other people called in their lives to get property out of the cities. When you have areas that are sucked up with these solar panels, it's not what they moved out there for. And it's not just the prairie chickens. There's a lot of wildlife out there. Now you got fences and you're only allowing 8 inches so that the prairie chickens can go in there. What about all the other animals? How are they going to get in? Totally against it. I got a lot more to say, but I don't know really where to go. I wasn't prepared for this, but I hope the panel researches this before you grant anything. Again, the ones that are benefiting are the ones that don't want to continue the farming, or it's an easier way, in my opinion. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay, anyone else? No? All right, well, thanks very much, everyone. Again, thanks for participating. We still will have written comments. We'll still accept those up until it's 11:59 on tomorrow on Friday. So you can still file a written comment if you haven't commented yet. I had it up here. Hang on. Oh, it's gone. We had over 900 comments filed for the record in this case so far. It's like it was like 936 last time I checked. So that's what we that's the written comments we have on file so far. So I do appreciate everyone's making their statements heard. And so we'll be back here. We'll be back on Zoom tomorrow. So people who are on Zoom, it's the same connection. 10 a.m. we'll start the party session. We'll be parties will be offering their evidence, and we'll be receiving that, cross-examining the witnesses, and dealing with some procedural things that parties need to deal with. So at this point, thanks very much, everyone, for attending, and we're adjourned. Take care. Have a good night.
Oh, yeah.
I assume all the comments made today will appear on the docket.